The popularity of so many true crime shows, Fox 11 is digging into our archives for an exclusive look back at Southern California crimes that continue to fascinate so many of us.
Gina Silva spoke to the retired LAPD detective who investigated the case of rapper Tupac Shakur for tonight's Fox 11 True Crime Files.
Even in death, Tupac Shakur is one of the best-selling music artists of all time. 75 million albums sold worldwide. On September 7th, 1996, the 25-year-old rapper was gunned down in Las Vegas. This is footage from our True Crime Files. Shakur was shot 4 times in a drive-by shooting. He died 6 days later on September 13th.
He associated himself with people that were very dangerous.
Retired LAPD detective Greg Kading investigated the murders of Biggie Smalls and Tupac Shakur. He explains the beef between the West Coast and East Coast rappers. What was the war all about?
A lot of it was just hubris, you know, with their extremely successful record labels, and there's just this competition to some degree. Death
Row Records was led by Marion Suge Knight here in the West Coast. Bad Boy Records by Sean Combs in the East Coast. Kading says the war between the two camps went from trash talk to murder real fast.
The violence between behind the conflict all started in Atlanta when one of Suge Knight's bodyguards was shot and killed by one of Puffy Combs' bodyguards.
Another dangerous conflict involved a death row chain like this one. Shakur wore it on several of his album covers.
And they were kind of coveted. And from the rival gang, they're like, oh, we're just gonna go steal those things from those guys. So this was just the nonsense going on the street.
On the night Tupac was shot in Las Vegas, he was captured on security video walking through the MGM lobby with his entourage. Suddenly, they all start attacking a man, later identified as Orlando Anderson. Kading says a few months earlier, Anderson had tried to snatch a death row chain from Shakur's friend.
Tupac takes it upon himself to run over and sucker punch Orlando, and that puts into motion the effort to kill Tupac and Suge.
Shortly after 11 p.m., Kading says Anderson and his crew exacted their revenge.
Like, there they are right there. They flip a U-turn, they pull up alongside the BMW that Suge's driving. Orlando Anderson gets the gun from his uncle in the front seat, leans out the window, and shoots and kills Tupac.
How does Kading know that for sure? Because in 2009, the LAPD obtained a confession from this man, Anderson's uncle, Dwayne Keith Davis, known as Keefy D.
We always suspected that he was somehow involved, and so we had built this massive federal drug case against him so that we'd have some leverage. And we brought him in. Do you want to sit down and talk to us about what you knew about one of these two murders, or both of the murders? And he says, I can't tell you anything about Biggie, that wasn't us, but I can certainly tell you what happened with Tupac, because that was us, and I was there, and I participated in it.
Kading says Davis confessed to giving Anderson a gun, and that Anderson was the one who pulled the trigger. But by the time the LAPD obtained his confession, it was too late.
Just like with Biggie's, the shooter's dead. Orlando Anderson was killed in 1998. He was shot in Compton, and so the shooter's no longer prosecutable. Keefy D has a proffer agreement, essentially protection from self-incrimination, and the other guys in the car are dead.
Murder Rap is a book Kading wrote about the untold story of Biggie Smalls and Tupac Shakur murder investigations. Kading says he's confident the LAPD solved both cases, and although no one has been prosecuted, he believes street justice was served.
You know, the person that shot and killed Biggie was himself shot and killed. It was almost perfect justice. The guy that shot and killed Tupac Shakur was himself gunned down in the street in the same violent way that he exacted upon Tupac. So there's like this divine justice issue.
The LAPD declined to comment on this story, stating that this is still an open case and therefore they cannot talk about it. It's the same thing they told us about the Biggie Smalls case. Alex, Christine?
So clearly he's gotten a lot of attention for this. Is this sort of the widely shared belief? Are there other theories out there as well, Gina?
There are a lot of other theories, but this one has gotten a lot of traction. And again, the reason why the LAPD hasn't closed this case, only they can say why. The speculation is that, you know, as you may remember, the LAPD was involved in a lawsuit, and so it could be political. We don't know, and the LAPD isn't talking about either case.
All right, Gina, thank you. You know, in a bizarre Southern California type of story, I was just telling you that one time at a mall, Orlando came up and introduced himself to me when I was on a story.
It's amazing all these years later how popular Tupac remains.
Yeah.
All these years later.
And the music as well.
Yeah. All right. By the way, we want to let you know, be sure to scan the QR code there on the bottom of your screen. Just like you go to a restaurant these days, you get out your phone, you bring it up, take a photo of this, and it'll get you more information about the Fox LA True Crime Files.